Viewers, I scored this Underbench refrigerator. It's a Skope Pegasus from 2015. They might be made in New Zealand. They're not anymore though. These are all cheap Chinese shit now, so I wouldn't even piss on one of these if it was on fire nowadays, because they're all so cheaply made. You might as well get food poisoning. How can manufacturers now make their products so crappy? And by the way, the new ones are these, or other brands as well, that come from out of China at the moment. They're very, very prone to get leaks in the evaporator. That's within 2 years of being put into service. They are that crap. So how do these manufacturers not be held liable for food poisoning and things like that, which is crazy. But this is it's an older one. Pretty sure it's made in New Zealand, this one, so it's a good one. Because these are, as I said, these are made in China now. These, Orford, Williams, all Chinese crap now, so you really cannot buy anything reliable refrigeration related anymore. Reliability is just not a thing anymore with refrigeration, which is kind of crazy because we rely on refrigeration for all sorts of things, especially with keeping bloody food and medicines cold. It's critical, but manufacturers don't seem to care. They're just hell-bent on profiteering with miraculous pieces of dog turds. So, anyway, I want to know what's wrong with this one. We have had bugger all R134A in it. 530 grams originally. I actually found there's a possible little pinhole in the evaporator. There's the accumulator there. It was low on gas and it was working, and it wasn't just getting cold, so we're low on refrigerant. But we'll do some tests on it. I've already quoted what a new evaporator for that thing costs. It's about $430 from Skope. We'll see how we can rig up. I wonder if this will fit in it as an evaporator. What we can rig up. Let's get it pumped down and regas to see just how bad the leak actually is, because it's from 2015. And I tested this thing about 2 months ago. When it was off, it had 30 psi in the system. When it was running, it was pulling under a slight vacuum. It wasn't frosting the coil up, just the accumulator was frosting up in there. So we'll see just how bad the leak actually is. As I said, any new commercial fridges nowadays, very, very common to have pinholes in the evaporators. So it's crazy how crappy things have become. You can't even rely on anything to keep your beers cold anymore. It's crazy. Anyway, given that thing's actually about a figure, it's about 3 or 4 grand I think one of those is at the moment. One of these particular fridges. Been nice having a barbecue area though. People do use these in their outdoor area where their barbecues are. That's all complete. It's service, so you undo some screws. Undo that and it slides out, the evaporator slides back, and this all slides out so you can clean it. Really cool. Now you don't have to replace this bit, you replace that inner bit and put a new in. It's kind of like a cassette or a split system air conditioner, this sort of thing. It's a cassette that slides in, you plug it in, get the bolts up, it slides back in, easy as that. But yeah, absolute crazy how crappy things have gotten. This is an Aspera Embraco compressor too. It's an Italian made compressor, so the compressor's decent. Yeah, Embraco compressor. This is about 2.47 amps, not too big. Probably about half the size of the one that's in my blast chiller, which is still going strong by the way. This came from the same place the blast chiller came from. Anyway, let's do some pump downs. There's absolutely bugger all on this, so I took the rest out. I took most of it out to a little recovery tank, or what little width the recovery tank couldn't take. I just vented it. Because you can buy R134A Anaconda as air horn gas. It's got the fitting on it for one of these and everything. Well, the gauges are screw on there. A service valve fitting on a can. And it's about $14 for a little can of R134A as air horn dust. You can go to J-Car, and go to and buy R134A there as air dust. That was freezer spray. So it's sort of a bit of a hit and miss where you can vent it in the atmosphere. So it's illegal but not illegal, so to speak. Because as I said, you buy a computer dust and it's just R1348. So, yeah. Anyway, that's just an optional thing. You can program this to freeze as well as a freezer. But since it's not so crappy by today's standards, there are much crappier ones than this one on the market now. Because about 80% of commercial fridges you can buy are made by Polar or Exquisite. They're coming out of China. And they've got R600A in them. And they're about, within 2 years, they're ready to go on the skip bin. That's all they're designed for, so it's pretty stupid. Something we can rely on, especially when it comes to food safety, can be so taken for granted and made so crappy that one day you're going to have your kitchen open to cook for everyone and your fridge has died and all your food's spoiled. It's just stupid. I don't see any point in it. Absolutely no point whatsoever. It's funny how stupid profiteering has made manufacturers. Just really retarded in my book. Really retarded. That money's just got into their heads. And that goes with all manufacturers of technology nowadays. Profits before planet and before brains. That's the way I see it. I'll see how long this can blow out for. As I said, the oil the compressor's going to be fizzed out to get the refrigerant out of it. That's just refrigerant coming out of there, out of the oil from the compressor. It kind of smells like the freezer I did last with this thing. The upright freezer here. I took the Embraco compressor out of it. It smells like that. The oil in the Embraco compressor that came out of that smells kind of ether-like. It's got a ether-like odour to it. It's probably the motor windings as it's gotten hot over the years. Strange how some oils smell better than others. And this one here, it smells good inside there. Might make some patent that oil and make keychain or car air freshener Embraco scent, Embraco compressor oil scent, because each compressor's different. Well, that's funny. Yeah, we're out of it's fizzed out. I'm going to put some R152A in there. I don't even know if should I? Should I put R152A in there? It's 530 grams of that R152A. Let's see what this has got. Versus 460 grams of this. Maybe I put this in there. That's nice and cheap and common. That's so damn cheap anyway, so I want to see how it holds first. How bad the leak in that evaporator really is. As I said, when I took that out when it was in service, I washed it and serviced it. I couldn't see any bubbles. I soaked up the evaporator. I couldn't see any bubbles bubbling on it, but I have my suspicions the evaporator is the culprit. Because it had foods in there like onions and tomatoes and pickles, foods that are acidic, which frosted up in that coil, although the coil has a protective coating on it. So, yeah, a lot of green. I didn't like the green coming off it when I was washing it. That's kind of worrying, but that's why I put this gas in it. Since this gas is just butane and propane, this can vent all at once. It doesn't have bugger all impact on the environment, except it'll blow you have a cigarette or something if you're a smoker, and you got this stuff in a leaky fridge in an enclosed space in your bar. Well, yeah, you're gonna have a bad day. That's the only drawback. But this is actually cheaper at Anaconda to buy this gas, so I will shop there for the refrigerant for now. It pays to shop around when you want to do refrigeration tinkering. Get the costs down. And we'll get that off there. That's obviously off. Let's put some of this gas in it. Now you can put less of this than it is with RO34A. You put less of this in there. Purge gel. Alright, we'll open up and suck it all in. I'll get this fridge plugged in. It'll equalise now before I turn it on. But these are still pretty handy fridges I have. I know Wicked XE bought one of these, an AG brand out of China, which is okay for the quality, but personally I'd be very wary of leaky evaporators. But as the quote, I did quote the customer when this originally came from. It's about probably $700 a repair, so $430 for the evaporator, and labour to braze it in and pump it down and put the gas in. But they were leaning more towards upgrading it to a newer anyway, since most of their kitchen's all been their stuff's due for renewal in their kitchen, besides the big combi ovens they got. Anyway. Well, you can't, I haven't got a leak detector for hydrocarbon, so I have to use a match and hope I don't blow myself up. So I'll plug this in. Test tag still in date. I can't see the sun there. It should start the compressor and drop the pressure down. The compressor's on. The sucking the refrigerant in. .34 degrees, the compressor symbol's on. We'll take some in there. I probably should weigh it again, but I'm not going to bother weighing it. I just want to go by old fashioned one, go by feel and judge the frost manually. Someone to hang this would be nice. There. I'm not going to have a look in here, it's not going to get cold yet. Yeah, see, it's not going to get cold in there yet. There's our accumulator. Yeah, suction still. Keep taking some refrigerant in. This will smell temporarily anyway when it leaks, but the smell goes away inside that system. Light there, LED. Nice. I've got the cover for that too. 4 pieces of Brussels cake I was sitting there in the sun, but it's a good test. A little liquid shouldn't hurt anything. Come on, hook. Get that loop. Got the whole can in there, all 460 grams. It shouldn't need that much, but bugger it. I'm going to get some cooling back to the compressor with some frost back. I'm not feeling anything yet. It will take a bit. That'll take a bit. Anyway, I'll keep persevering with this and it will take a bit. Slowly working viewers, you've got to think when you're using low pressure, you're working with low pressure here. And I've got that cooking in the sun to boil it off in that can. Get the pressure up so this thing can drink its potion, so to speak. Do a bit by bit. It's gone down to 25 degrees. Starting to inject more and more heat. Oh yeah, it's ejecting more and more heat. As I said, you don't want to just go with the flow. According to high chill specifications, HFCs compared to hydrocarbons, 30% less charge rate. I'm going to try and put all of that in there as I can. If it doesn't matter if there's a bit of frost back to the compressor, it'll help cool itself down a bit. And I'll monitor that frost pattern, by the way, on the compressor line, go onto the compressor, and if I notice a change in that over a given amount of time, I know it's a leak in the system. That's another way you can, I'll overcharge it with that. If I do overcharge it, I can look at the line. I got a similar concept with this one, where I got frost and ice back to the compressor here. All this frosts up, and it stays like that and doesn't change. I know there's no leaks in the system. There's still a little bit too much in here yet, because this overnight frosts up like that. That's all ice on there. I've had one of these, looked at one of these cut open. It's just pretty much this exact compressor, which I'll show in a minute. Underneath this bloody power board here. It's this exact, there's too much shit anyway. This exact compressor mechanically. So I've got it over, taken out here. Oh, where did I put it? Damn it. Yeah, where did I put that? Holy shit. Where did I put it? It's here somewhere anyway. I might put this crap. It's in here somewhere. This is that compressor mechanical. Pretty much this design, exact design. And the motor is just Fisher and Paykel planetary motor. It looks exactly like that. The coil layout, and instead of having the plastic Fisher and Paykel bit, it's a steel ring which is attached to the crankshaft. So, pretty much exactly the same as a Fisher and Paykel smart drive motor in that little compressor. So you could, in theory, use a motor inside here as a generator. It won't generate as much voltage over an arc, but it's virtually the same motor. So that's pretty cool. I could, in theory, hook the 3 pins of that up to the output of a Fisher or Paykel smart drive and turn it, and that will mimic this driver board and run that compressor. The voltage will be higher if you spin it too fast, and it will run too fast, but it's the same sort of principle. And 10 psi on the low pressure side. A little bit more in there. Let's go full send. That was full, was up there, now it's gone under here of liquid. So we're getting lower. Getting there. Slowly, slowly. Starting to get cold. The unit model is UE68DD. Yeah, the agent for these is CRH Australia, which they supply parts for Skope. I really like how you can take this whole unit out as a cassette and leave that intact and change that whole bit if you really needed to. Good for servicing, because you can leave everything else in there as an esky, take this out, wash it outside, service it and put it back in and plug it all in, or plug and play. That's a good idea. A good concept, I like that. And that is actually the same Engel came up with that idea. So are Fuji compressors fridges there. Because the way Engel have still designed their fridges to this day, to take an Engel apart, all you do is unscrew everything, and actually the evaporator and compressor unit slides out from the top. So you could, in theory, take this unit and stick it to an old esky and use it as a car fridge. That is a good idea. No other car fridge manufacturer does that. And if there's a damage in the evaporator coil, the whole thing's junk. Throw the whole thing in the bin. Whereas with the Engel, you can take the good bit out and put it in another Engel shell. They're good for that. Yeah, we're getting there. 19.6 degrees Celsius. Let's see how it reacts to too much refrigerant. I know I deliberately, as I said, put a bit too much in there deliberately, and I want to monitor my pressures and my frost on the outside of the compressor there. Monitor that over time and see if that changes. If it changes too quickly and goes away too quickly, oh, that's a bad leak. That's what it'll tell me. barbecue area, this fridge. It's pretty much what some of the places I've been to, the people who live in the rich areas of town, they've got a nice outdoor barbecue area, and for the outdoor bench where the barbecue is in the bar is one of these fridges. So, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Still a good brand, Skope, but they're not built like the old ones. Yeah, New Zealand-based company. Balcombe Hills. Oh, that's where EV blog Dave Jones is based. No defrost. I think it's done through here. I think it's a cyclic hot gas defrost, if I remember correctly. There's a date, control box, quality approved, checked, 21st of the 4th, 2015. It's not even that old. I know it was 2021, the start of 2021. This thing stopped getting cold and I stopped using it. So, what's that? Just over 4 years of service. That's all I got out of this thing. Which is, yeah, lasted on par with a Chinese one they get now out of the market. They come out of China. Because a lot of places around town are getting the Chinese branded ones of these, which are not designed to be fixed. But as with these, you can actually get the parts for them. There is support for these things out there. Anyway, well, that's getting real hot. Okay, viewers, I put that whole complete can in. It's gotten down to 3.2 Celsius. I think it's set to around 3 or 2 degrees Celsius if I remember correctly. Somewhere around there. The pressure was just under 10 psi, so I'm about to write the correct amount in there. I've got to fix this freaking door up because this is a stupid design with these magnets. And this top one doesn't meet, but this here scratches up against here. What a shit design. Why would you pay all that money? Look at the workmanship. They're scammers, these manufacturers. Bloody scammers. 3.1. But overall, still a good quality unit. Nice and cold. There's some frost on that pipe in there, so that's good. It is cold. Let that cycle off now, that should be right. Don't smell any propane in there, so that's a good sign. You still smell a little bit, but as it gets worked through the system over time, the smell goes away. Even the oil in the compressor doesn't smell of that either. Because I found with a junk compressor, when I took the oil out and changed the oil after I high chilled it, there's no smell in it. It's interesting how the smell dissipates in the system. I wonder if it's a charcoal in the filter dryer that absorbs it all, or the smell out of it. Interesting. Anyway, quite happy with that. Oh yeah, good heat rejection there. R601C blowing agent, which is a HFC gas. Now they're using butane as blowing gas. So technically the new blowing gas in the new fridges are using butane. You can hold a match to it and it should burst into flames. But there's chemical in the actual foam which retards the fire. So, interesting how to do that. Anyway, this thing's ready for some cold beers, I think. Thanks for watching.